Okay, so the piece I'm going to do is the Anderson article on murder at 1600. So here you go. How many of you sometimes feel that you have to compete with your peers, co-workers, in order to stand out? Is this a constant battle, or is this something that you just have to deal with during your 9 to 5 workday or school day? Imagine being a woman and having to constantly fight with all of society. I'm sure that all women at some point have had to deal with competing with a man. Men, I'm sure at some point you have had to depreciate a woman's power, intelligence, or potential, intentionally or unintentionally. As a woman, I am a witness to how society makes women go above and beyond to prove themselves to the world. Living with a double standard, the need to prove our equivalence are just some of the issues that our grandmothers and mothers have had to endure. In this speech, I will cover the 1997 thriller Murder at 1600 featuring Wesley Snipes and Diane Lane. I will highlight the portrayal of some of the positions that a woman is placed in, how she falls victim to it, and how she battles it. I will now give you a quick overview of the film Murder at 1600 and point out important scenes. This film begins at the White House. A secretary, the Secretary of House, Carla Town, is found dead in a restroom bathroom. After much chaos arises, a homicide detective, Wesley Snipes, is put on the case after he picks up on foul play from the Secret Service. He allies with one of their own to uncover the truth behind his crime. Through Diane Lane's character, Nina, we see how a woman fights to prove her authenticity. As Anderson mentions in her 2002 article, From Spouses to Candidates, Rodham Clinton, Elizabeth Dole, and the gendered office of the U.S. presidency, authenticity something covers someone who's tried to prove their character, not their chromosomes. Nina shows to be a strong woman and stand up for what she believes in, rather than to go what the other men in the Secret Service want her to do. In this early scene, we can begin to see how Nina is not the perceived submissive woman. The following scenes demonstrate another woman with a strong womanly character. As the storyline progresses, the audience can see how the White House is dealing with an international crisis and how new secrets from the case begin to surface. Information about Carla's sex life comes to the light. It is speculated that Carla had engaged in a sexual encounter with two men, both who knew each other. This kind of sexual activity is something that is frowned upon when acted on by a woman, yet admired when acted up by men. This is what Anderson in her 2002 article referred to as the double bind, and in this instance, in this movie, it is broken. The double standard where the role expectations is tested, the role expectations are tested. Although Carla is already dead and cannot defend herself, this information of a woman's sexual activity shows her promiscuous ways. A woman who wasn't ashamed of her sexuality and a woman who embraced her sexual desires. In a woman's sexuality and meaning, in the article, A Woman's Sexuality and Meaning Making by Deborah Molan and Sally D. Stab, it is shown how a woman finds meaning in their life and sexuality. This meaning is something that they use to battle against men and to fight that double standard, or to prove their to show their natural urges as a woman. This scene dealing with Nina and her sexual life, with Carla and her sexual life, shows a different way in which a woman can express her identity, individuality, and her power. The way that Nina goes about it, however, is a bit different. Once the man that had sex with Carla that night she died is discovered, it comes to the light that Nina once used to be his bodyguard. Nina confesses how she once found Kyle, the man who was engaged with Carla that last night. How Nina confesses how she witnessed him beating up his girlfriend, a crime that could have had him arrested for battery and assault. However, his high status got him a new bodyguard, and that whole instance was just erased. So this piece of information begins to further evolve the investigation. However, the piece that stands out is Nina being a bodyguard to a man. What Anderson describes as hegemony refers to the norms that define masculinity in our American society. With the roles that a woman, which wait, with that the roles of a woman are implied. The way that Nina went against the expected role of a bystander supporter and was an actual bodyguard, one with power and participation, shows her attempt to show her authenticity. Also, in Sylvia's 2008 article, she shines light on how women going against traditional femininity and adapting a more masculine identity. This doesn't necessarily mean that they are leaving behind their feminine ways or their heterosexual identity, but they are embracing a side of them that was once looked down upon. With these scenes and concepts, we can see that how there are normalities in the way a woman is expected to act, normalities which are often followed and very often disputed. From what we can all see from our personal experiences is that women in society are expected to obey a man, be soft and shy. However, today I have shown three ways of how women are beginning to go against these traditional ways. Women are beginning to have a mind of their own. They are no longer obeying every command of man or society, but they are bringing out their authenticity and staying true to who they are as an individual. Women are also using their sexuality to break double standards and double binds. They are using their sexuality the same way as men do, to embrace their equality. Women in our society are also taking parts in roles that aren't norm. And women in our past generations weren't expected or even allowed to take part in. So, whether you are a man or a woman, this breakage is something that is affecting you. Women, we are beginning to take over positions that were once only open to men and speaking up in ways which we were never expected to before. As a woman, this is something empowering and motivating, and as a man, this is something that may be intimidating. So, ladies, before you let a man direct your next move or instill a double standard on you, keep in mind how far your fellow women have come. Men, before you try to automatically think you're stronger and smarter than the women around you, think about your mother, your sister, your aunts, your cousins, your grandmother, and think about the struggles that they have faced as women.